In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create an AI-powered LinkedIn content machine that completely automates the process of creating highly engaging LinkedIn posts for you, your brand, or your business. This content machine will craft LinkedIn content that is aligned with your business's unique value proposition, your unique selling points, the pains and needs of your customers, and your brand's voice and tone. This system will be able to scrape the LinkedIn posts of the top LinkedIn content creators out there so that you can create LinkedIn posts where the writing style is mimicking the best LinkedIn posts on the platform today. LinkedIn is a platform that is becoming tremendously popular lately, especially with the new AI wave that is upon us. Everybody is talking about AI, what they're doing with AI, and how they fired their marketing team with AI, for example. So it's a great time to get on the platform, to create engagement, to create traction, and to really just build an audience on LinkedIn that can serve as a customer base for you in the future. Creating an audience is really one of the most valuable things you can do as a business owner, and I highly recommend it. And this LinkedIn content engine will be able to increase your audience and increase your online engagement on autopilot. So let's get into it. Here in Airtable, we have a company setup page. As usual with these automations that I'm showing on YouTube, I'm using Airtable as a backend and a database, but also as a user interface, so that when I take certain actions inside an Airtable, they trigger automations that I have built in Airtable, which send data to N8N. So our N8N workflow is here for the AI LinkedIn content engine. And when we send data to N8N, that will then trigger automations that we have set up here in N8N. So if I go back over to the company setup page, I can basically set up my company and scrape my own company website. I can also add additional companies, and I can use the information on my website and on my LinkedIn page to create a lot of very interesting information that can then be used as context to create the LinkedIn posts. For example, here I have inserted just my company name, Catalina AI, the creator name, Luke Clark, the company URL, Catalina-AI.com. I've also inserted another company URL here, Catalina-AI.com/SEO solution, which outlines our SEO solution that we're selling at the moment. And then I've inputted my creator LinkedIn URL. So this is my LinkedIn URL here. If you click on it, you can go and check me out on LinkedIn. And then I've also inputted the LinkedIn URLs of top LinkedIn content creators that are really writing fantastic LinkedIn posts at the moment. So one of them is Alex Banks. He talks about a lot of interesting topics around AI, and Lara Acosta is another LinkedIn content creator at the moment that has a really nice writing style. And we can then scrape these posts from her to not copy her content, but to mimic her writing style. So that's what we want to do with these posts. So if I go back in here into Airtable, I can then just click generate information. So I'll click it off. I'll go into Airtable, or N8N, apologies. I'll click execute workflow, and then I'll come back in here and I'll just click generate information. When I click generate information, that will trigger this automation inside of Airtable, which will send the data, so the record ID and the action, to N8N and trigger our workflow here. So we're triggering, if you go into the switch node, the company setup workflow. And I can explain you a little bit more about the switch node in a moment. But here we have an AI agent. This AI agent is going to take the URLs that I've inputted into the company setup page, so the Catalina AI URL and the Catalina AI/SEO solution URL, and it's going to scrape those pages and create a lot of highly in-depth content and context about our company that can then be used to create our LinkedIn posts. Additionally, it's going to scrape the LinkedIn posts of the top LinkedIn content creators that we have inputted into the Airtable, and then it's going to insert those into Airtable. So if I come back here, we can see that now a lot of information has been generated about our company that we can use as context for our LinkedIn posts. So for example, founders business narrative. So I forgot to mention that the AI agent will also scrape my LinkedIn profile. So if I go to founders business narrative here, based on my LinkedIn profile, it will say, after a career in data engineering, I founded Catalina AI to move beyond theory. So this is for my profile, to move beyond theory and help businesses unlock real value, real measurable value in artificial intelligence. We are a boutique AI automation partner that builds custom task-specific AI agent solutions. We work closely with our clients to automate workflows and enhance decision-making, transforming their sales and marketing to make them AI-first industry leaders. The founder-centric value proposition. From my perspective as a data engineer, we don't just sell software, we will build permanent AI assets that our clients own forever. Our values in empowerment over dependency, we deliver through partnership. Then if we go to the creator's personal brand and angle, core expertise, AI automation, custom AI solutions, data engineering, founder-led growth, professional angle, ideal customer profiles of me and my business. So target industries, forward-thinking businesses, particularly SEO, digital marketing agencies, SaaS companies. So it has information about my ICP, the key offerings and talking points. So we have key offerings are framed as solutions to business challenges. 1, the autonomous SEO agent that helps. It's an asset that we install on your systems to dominate search rankings. 2, custom AI sales agent. So these are solutions that we have built and that we're advertising on our website. And the AI agent that we've built here inside an NNN is going out, taking all that information from LinkedIn and from our website and creating all of this context about our business and also about me and my angle that I want to be taking on LinkedIn. And this is really useful. Here we have evidence and proof points as well. So this is really useful because we can then use this information as context for creating those LinkedIn posts, which is really valuable. Okay. So additionally, we can also generate topic ideas. So if you don't want to come up with ideas for even generating topics for LinkedIn posts that you want to write about, you can click generate topic ideas. That will trigger the generate topic ideas workflow. And in here, we're passing all the information about the creator name. So for example, Lou Clark of Catalina AI, the founder's business narrative, the founder-centric value proposition, creator's personal brand angle, ideal customer profile. And using that information, we will then ask the AI to generate topics for LinkedIn posts. Okay. So we come back in here and we can see, okay, so I deleted those, but here we can see that 10 topics were generated for potential LinkedIn posts that we could write, or topics for our LinkedIn posts. So owning versus renting your AI. AI is a permanent business asset. Bespoke AI beats off the shelf tools. Moving beyond AI theory to ROI. Okay, the future of AI first agencies. Okay, that could potentially be an interesting topic. So then we just take that topic. I'm going to just delete these rows here. Okay, so we can take the future of AI first agencies and we can use that topic to then create a LinkedIn post. Here we see the posts that have been scraped from LinkedIn. In this step here, we're using a tool on Relevance AI, which is here. And we're making an API call to that tool to scrape the LinkedIn posts for the content creators. So we're scraping my LinkedIn posts and we're scraping the LinkedIn posts for the 2 content creators, Alex Banks and for Lara Acosta. And so here you have, for example, the post content. So here from Alex Banks, Trump's bombshell on AI copyright law. You can see I really like Alex Banks's LinkedIn content writing style. He generally posts about new emerging topics or news topics around AI, and then he gives his own takeaway at the end. This is generally his style. And you can see Lara Acosta and Alex Banks are both getting a lot of engagement on LinkedIn right now. And then we can select the posts of the LinkedIn content creators that we like the most and mimic their writing style when asking the AI to generate LinkedIn posts for our business. Then going into request LinkedIn post, we simply come in here, we add a new post topic. So for example, the future of AI first agencies. We then select a company that we want to create this LinkedIn post for. So Catalina AI. The nice thing about this system, it's set up so you can add multiple companies, so that if you're, for example, a LinkedIn ghostwriting agency and you're writing LinkedIn posts for many different creators or companies, you can add up to like infinite number of companies here and generate posts for them on autopilot as well. So I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to click execute workflow. And then I just click implement research, generate angles, and write posts. So the first thing that this content engine is going to do is it will first trigger this workflow here, which will initially do in-depth research using Perplexity around our LinkedIn post topic. Okay, so we have a master research and synthesis agent here. And what this is going to do is, if we look at the user prompt message here, so we have using the provided LinkedIn post topic and creator profile context, begin your research process now. Follow your operational protocol meticulously and do not stop until you have produced the final complete strategic research report as your only output. So we have an AI agent here. The AI agent has access to Perplexity Sonar Pro and Google Gemini 2.5 Pro as a chat model. And we're telling our agent to basically use so here are your inputs: the LinkedIn post topic, the creator profile context. Inside the creator profile context, in the user prompt, we're basically passing the creator name, in my case, Luke Clark, of course, the company name, the company website, and then the founder's business narrative, founder-centric value proposition, personal brand angle, ICP, evidence proof points, key offerings, and talking points, so that we can use all of this information as context for writing our LinkedIn posts. And we're telling the AI agent, the master research and synthesis agent, to take into account the creator and the brand context, and also, most importantly, the LinkedIn post topic, and do in-depth research on this topic, and then provide a in-depth research report that can be used as context for creating our LinkedIn post. So we will create a highly in-depth report and do a lot of research around the LinkedIn post topic, which is the future of AI first agencies. We will do a lot of research using Perplexity, and we will create a report, and then we will base the LinkedIn content off that report. The master research and synthesis agent is working away. It takes a bit of time because we're using Perplexity Sonar Pro to do a lot of really in-depth research for us around the topic. And the next step will then be to generate a post blueprint. So we will generate a plan for the post. And inside in the post blueprint, we're again passing the post topic, but this time also the research that we've implemented. And again, all of the context about the company, the creator, and the value proposition, brand angle, etc. And inside in the system prompt here, we are saying, you are an elite personal brand strategist and LinkedIn ghostwriter, a master of viral content mechanics and psychological framing. Your singular focus is to architect post blueprints that are not just well written, but are engineered for maximum performance on the LinkedIn platform. You think in terms of scroll stop ratios, narrative tension, and audience psychology. Core mission: you will receive a creator profile, a post topic, and a post topic research. Your mission is to synthesize these inputs into 5 distinct, strategically sound post blueprints. Each blueprint must be a complete battle plan for a post designed to capture attention, drive deep engagement, and reinforce the creator's authority. The final output must be a valid JSON array with each blueprint as a separate JSON object. So we're asking the AI to output a specific JSON object that we can then parse easily. I'll show you that in a second. The framework for each LinkedIn post blueprint. So we're providing a framework for the blueprint, the post name, the post angle, the strategic rationale, the psychological levers behind the post, so an explicit list of psychological triggers being activated, like curiosity gap, authority bias, scroll stopper, narrative beats, the anchor point of the post, the punchline of the post, and we will ask our AI to output all of that information into a lovely, perfectly structured JSON object, okay? And then we give it a final mandate. Before generating the response, perform a final check. For every blueprint, ask yourself, if I were the ideal customer profile, would I stop scrolling for this? Is the value crystal clear? Does this sound authentically like the creator name? In this case, myself. If the answer to any of these is not an immediate yes, the blueprint is not good enough. Your reputation as a world-class strategist depends on the quality and performance of these outputs. So we're really telling the AI there's a lot on the line here and you must create a world-class output. So as we just outlined there, it's not just creating one blueprint, it's creating 5 blueprints. And the reason for this is it will then use those blueprints to create 5 LinkedIn posts, and we can then pick the LinkedIn posts that we think are the best. Okay, so then it will parse. So we said it's going to output a JSON object. Here you see that it's outputted a JSON object. We then parse that object. It takes quite a while to do all the deep research and then parse the object. Okay, so we have parsed the object and then we have inputted it into Airtable. So if we come back to Airtable now, we have the future of AI agencies, and look what's happening here. First, we have our in-depth research report. So strategic narrative summary. For Lou Clark, founder of Catalina AI, the future of AI first agencies, our post topic, is not a speculative trend, but a present day reality he is actively constructing. Okay, and we basically get a highly in-depth research report that's built around my company, around the value proposition that we offer, addressing the pain points of my customers, and then also bringing in some rich, insightful information that Perplexity has done through research. So Perplexity is doing the research, and then if you go to the AI agent here, Perplexity is doing the research. The AI agent is using Perplexity to do the research, and Google Gemini 2.5 Pro is then writing the report on the research. Okay, so it basically, yes, it creates a highly in-depth report for us around the topic, and using this report we will then create 5 blueprints. So if we go to LinkedIn post angles, we have 5 blueprints here for 5 different posts. The SaaS trap, why renting your AI is a losing strategy. The 80% agency trust gap, I fired my content team and 10x my traffic. You see a lot of these kind of posts on LinkedIn these days of people saying they fired their content team. Google is coming for your agency's business model, and the one problem AI strategy for overwhelmed founders. Okay, so the post topic is the future of AI first agencies. Here's the post angle. So for this one, let's focus on the one problem for AI strategy for overwhelmed founders. Okay, so the angle is the pragmatic problem solver. The strategic angle here, this is the blueprint, and you will start to see how this is very valuable, and we can pass all this as additional context for writing our LinkedIn post as well. So we create a strategic rationale for our LinkedIn post. This angle directly addresses the ICP's pain point of feeling overwhelmed by AI hype. Instead of adding to the noise, it provides a simple, actionable framework. So this is for our post. Psychological levers, simplicity and clarity, scroll stopper, feeling overwhelmed by 1,000 plus new AI tools. Good, it means you're paying attention. Forget all of them. Here's the only place to start. Not bad. So that would be used as the scroll stopper in the post. Narrative beats, so setup, the AI landscape is chaos. The ICP challenge, so this is the anchor point. The ICP challenge from the research. Challenge, I'm overwhelmed by AI hype and I don't know where to start. Opportunity, stop chasing shiny objects. Let's define your single biggest bottleneck. Okay, so you see basically, and then you have a CTA or a call to discussion here at the end. And so the LinkedIn posts are already generated for us here. The reason for that is if we go to automations here, we have generate LinkedIn post. The other ones I wanted to show you how they work by just sending the data to the test webhook, but here I'm sending the data to the production webhook. So the AI went ahead and generated the LinkedIn post for us. So basically we have an automation here inside Airtable, which is saying if the call to discussion is not empty, trigger this automation, send the data of our blueprint basically to N8N and start writing us those posts. So I'm just going to copy this to the editor so you can see it. This is an example for one of our posts. So first we use a get record to retrieve the record of the LinkedIn blueprint here we're retrieving the information about our company from the company setup page. Then we're implementing a search records to find the selected LinkedIn reference posts. If you remember, I clicked on Alex Banks's. If I go back to select LinkedIn reference posts, I selected all of Alex Banks's posts here. So we're going to use his posts we're going to mimic the writing style of his posts, okay? So we're basically just using a search operation to search for the LinkedIn posts of Alex Banks. We're actually retrieving all of the posts here, I believe, from that table. And then we're filtering where the select post is true, okay? I don't know why this is showing as red here because it seems to be working. We have kept 5 items and we discarded 10. Okay. We then aggregate the posts and manipulate the data a bit. And then here we have our generate LinkedIn post basic LLM chain step. This is the key step then, or the final step. So we're passing into the user prompt the post blueprint variables. So the post angle, the pragmatic problem solver. This angle directly addresses the ICP's pain point of feeling overwhelmed. So we went through this, the strategic rationale, the psychological levers, the scroll stopper, the narrative beats, anchor point, visual formatting strategy, punchline, call to discussion. We're passing the creator variables. So Luke Clark, Catalina AI, the founder's business narrative, founder-centric value proposition, and on. And the reference posts here at the end, okay? So here at the end here, these are all the posts aggregated into one JSON array here, okay? And they have the new lines and everything. So all of the posts from Alex Banks. And what we're saying in the prompt here, in the system prompt, so that's the user prompt. In the system prompt, we are saying, you are an elite level LinkedIn ghostwriter and stylistic analyst, a master of digital rhetoric and persuasive prose. You possess the rare ability to synthesize strategic direction, a creator's unique voice, and the stylistic nuances of viral content into a single, flawless piece of writing. Your sole function is to transform a detailed post blueprint into a powerful, publish-ready LinkedIn post that is strategically sound, stylistically brilliant, and authentically embodies the creator's persona. Your mission, you will be provided with 3 distinct categories of information. The post blueprint variables, this is your what. The creator variables, this is your who. And the reference posts, this is your how. This is a collection of high-performing LinkedIn posts. You will not copy their content or ideas. Your task is to deeply analyze their structure, rhythm, and style. And to use style to use as the stylistic template for your writing. Okay, so we're not copying those posts. We're just mimicking the style. Your writing process, a 3-step execution. Step 1, deep stylistic analysis. Step 2, internalize the creator, the who. And step 3, construct the post. Adhere to the blueprint, flesh out the narrative, embody the style, integrate the voice, implement the formatting. Critical mandate, style not substance. You are explicitly forbidden from copying any topics, ideas, or thematic content from the reference posts. Your inspiration from them is 100% structural and stylistic. The substance of the post comes only from the post blueprint variables and the creator variables. Output requirement, finally. Your final output will be only the text of the LinkedIn post, perfectly formatted and ready to be copied and pasted. So, really nice prompt there. And we input our 5 posts into Airtable, okay? And we come back here. We go to generated posts, and okay, these are the shortlisted posts, but if we go to all posts, we have 5 LinkedIn posts here. Okay, we have 5 LinkedIn posts here all around that particular angle. So if you remember, we go back to the angles. We were given 5 angles. We have the AI strategy for overwhelmed founders, the I fired my content team and 10x my traffic. If we go into the post, we have the one, okay, here is the one problem AI strategy for overwhelmed founders. And let's have a look at our post. Okay, here's our LinkedIn post. Feeling overwhelmed by the 1,000 plus new AI tools. Decent hook. Good, it means you're paying attention. Forget all of them. Here's the only place to start. The AI landscape is chaos. A new game-changing tool drops every single day. And as you can see, we basically have a LinkedIn post that is, and see here we have the my takeaway, so it's mimicking the style of Alex Banks. But we have a post, we really have that kind of LinkedIn style of writing here. And not all the posts are going to be perfect, guys, but if you take a look at them, some of them will be very interesting, some of them won't. Stop renting your competitive advantage. The future of AI for your business isn't another monthly subscription. Everyone is rushing to plug in AI, okay? And you can go through these posts and pick the ones that you really like. 80% of brands now distrust their agency's use of AI. As a data engineer, I'm not surprised. So it's taking into account my background. A new report from the World Federation of Advertisers just confirmed it. The reason is the black box problem. Agencies are using generic tools without disclosing the risks. Soulless off-brand content, hidden legal and reputational liabilities. Okay, so it's interesting stuff. And then what's really nice is you can generate an image for your LinkedIn post. So if I go back to my N8N workflow, I click execute workflow. Oops, I still have the webhook pinned here. So I'll just unpin that, save it again, execute workflow. And then I can, for example, I fired my content team. That will start generating an image for the I fired my content team post. So as we can see, this is triggered. It's retrieving basically the post information and the post angles. So the post angles and the company setup. And then we're going to basically use an LLM to create a prompt that we can then use to generate an image. So this is basically taking all that information again and saying you are an elite level creative director and AI image prompt engineer. So it's creating a prompt like this that we can then pass to create an image. So in a bright, clean, minimalistic studio, a sleek, futuristic machine made of white and brushed metal is elegant. So it's like a prompt that can be used to generate an image. So here the image is generating. We then convert it to a file and we then host the image on ImageKit. So if we go over here, we have ImageKit. This is just a platform that you can use to call the API and host your images on ImageKit. Okay. So that's generating. Okay guys, so it took a little bit of time to generate the image, but it's completed generating now. I'm using the ChatGPT 4.0 image generation model for this. And as you can see, we've generated the image, then we're converting it to a file. We're then sending that image to ImageKit using a HTTP request. And then we're updating the record inside an Airtable with the image URL. And yeah, we're updating the record inside of Airtable. So here we can see this is the image that has been created for our LinkedIn post around I fired my content team and 10x my traffic. And there is one other thing I wanted to show you here is that we can actually provide image generation additional instructions. And if I just show you quickly, the prompt here is, so we're passing all of those variables like the LinkedIn post title and the post angle and psychological levers and everything to the user prompt. But inside the system prompt, we're providing a hierarchy of command. And we're saying user instructions first. If the image generation additional instructions field is present, which in this case it wasn't. So if we go just back here, see, it's empty. In this case it wasn't. We go for path B, okay? So just come back here, hierarchy of command. If the image generation additional instructions field is present, its content is your highest priority and non-negotiable core concept. And then we go for path B around user instructions are provided. If not, creative direction is default and the AI takes path B, which is no user instructions are provided, derive the core concept, define the artistic style, and construct the creative prompt. So what I'm going to do this time is for the other images, I'm going to ask for an infographic for these posts, okay? So I'm going to say, create me a highly engaging infographic based around my LinkedIn posts. And I'm just going to use that for these 4 fields here, okay? Then I'm going to click generate post or generate image. And in the meantime, I've also updated the automation here to send the information to the production webhook, okay? So they'll just generate immediately now. So if we go over to our N8N automation, we click executions, we can see there's 4 executions running now, and they are generating the images for those 4 different posts. So I'm going to check back in 1 second when all 4 of those images are generated. Okay guys, so 3 out of our 4 images are generated, and now all 4 images are generated. So if we go back, let's check out what our images look like. So for the SaaS trap, that is a very nice image, okay? So now we have a highly engaging infographic, SaaS rental versus AI ownership. I actually really like that image. Then we have this image, okay, another infographic. Maybe it's not the best. So what you can do in this case is you can just click on and click off, and it will send that data again to regenerate the image. Maybe you can also change the additional instructions if you wanted. Let's take a look at the other images. Another nice infographic here, old way, new way. This is for Google is coming for your agency's business model. And then finally, the 80% agency trust gap. We can check the image as well. Let's have a look. The 80% agency trust gap. That is quite a nice image now. Untrustworthy agency AI over to transparent custom built AI. So not bad. So guys, that is how, okay, here this image regenerated. Okay, yeah, still is a bit not the best. Okay guys, so then lastly, you can update the status. So you can say schedule to post, and you can add a schedule your posts to post. You provide a date. So let's say it's now the Friday the 8th of August, so we could say the 9th of August, for example, the 10th, okay, and then if you go to our shortlisted posts here, you can see I've actually posted some of these. We have a shortlisted which is filtered on shortlist, okay, so that means I just need to come back here to my generated posts, and I can click this button here to shortlist our post, and then we have a cleaner view of all our posts, and we can see that all of these ones are posted already, and now we have these ones that are scheduled to post. So this won't actually post your content directly, but you can basically just copy the LinkedIn post and download the image. You just click save image as and save it to your desktop, and then upload it to LinkedIn, and that is it. All right guys, so that was an extremely long-winded demo and overview as to how the LinkedIn content engine works. So I'll try and be quick for this part. I just want to show you how you can get the system set up for yourself. So I'll make the Airtable base and the N8N template available in the link in the description of this video. You just need to duplicate the Airtable base, and you need to download the N8N template and import it into your own N8N account. So you do need Airtable, the $24 per month plan, I think it is, or $25 or something like this, and you need the N8N subscription as well to build this system, okay? So when you duplicate the Airtable base, you'll have all these tables already set up for you. You just need to go into automations, because when you duplicate the Airtable base, the automations will not be duplicated for you. You go into generate the company details. Now, to give you an overview as to how the automations work, if you haven't seen my previous videos, I'm going to give you a very quick overview, okay? If I come back here, we have one webhook inside an N8N, and all of these different automations are tied up to one singular webhook, where we also have a switch node, okay? So I'm just going to trigger, for example, the company setup automation again, okay? To give you an understanding as to how this works. So I click execute workflow. I just generate the information again, and we see that our automation is being triggered. So if I go to automations here, okay, the automation fired here, generate company details. That automation fired because here we have a when a record matches conditions step. And if you can see over on the right here, the table is company setup, and the condition is when generate information is ticked. So when generate information is ticked, like we just ticked there, we're going to run a script, okay? So I'm going to make this script available for you in the description as well. But if you just come down here and click edit code, we have this script. It's the same script that I'm using in all of my automations, guys. And it's quite simple. You just need to copy and paste this script. Then it requires 3 inputs. So the webhook URL, that's the webhook URL of our N8N automation. So if you click on the webhook here, you just copy the test webhook. Or if you want to move to your production webhook, you can copy the production webhook, okay? You then paste your webhook there. You then select record ID. You put record ID exactly as it's written here, okay? That's very important. Then you provide the Airtable record ID, then the action, and the action is important. Why is the action important? Because here we have the action set as company setup, okay? If we go to generate post topics, everything is the exact same, except we're retrieving the data, the Airtable record ID, from the company setup table, and it's being triggered when generate topic ideas is ticked, okay? The script is the exact same. We're sending to the exact same webhook. We're using the Airtable record ID, and the action in this case is generate topic ideas, okay? So edit code, if you look here, the action is generate topic ideas. And it's the same for research post topic, literally the same automation. The conditions are when a record matches conditions, when implement research, generate angles, and write post is checked, it will run the same script. So same webhook, Airtable ID, the action is research post topic. Then we have the same thing for generate post. The action is generate LinkedIn post. We have one automation here inside Airtable to, so when a record matches conditions if LinkedIn post is not empty. So that's inside the table for LinkedIn post angles. If we go to the LinkedIn post here, when the LinkedIn post is not empty, we're going to fire an automation to just send the LinkedIn post to the generated posts table. Okay, so I come back to automations here, create record. When the LinkedIn post is not empty, we're going to create a record inside the generated posts table. And then we're going to send the post name, the LinkedIn post content, and the Airtable record ID, okay, into the LinkedIn post angles. Okay, and then finally we have the generate post image. So when a record matches conditions, generate image is checked. We will run the exact same script. And then finally, this time, same hook, Airtable ID, record ID, and the action is generate image. So why is the action important? I just needed to go through all those automations for you so you know exactly how to set them up in your own Airtable base. But why is the action important? The record ID, the action, so the record ID and the action are received inside the webhook here. We're then implementing a get record step to the request LinkedIn post table to just retrieve the request LinkedIn post information. Okay, and then in the switch node, this is the key for the action. This determines which automation is going to be triggered here. So based on the action that's received in the webhook, so in this case, the action, we implemented the company setup. So if we come down here, the action is, where is it? Inside our webhook, yes, inside our webhook. The action is company setup. So here we have the action, which is company setup. And when it's equal to company setup, the first automation is going to fire, okay? When the action is equal to generate topic ideas, the generate topic ideas arm will fire. When the action is equal to research post topic, the research post topic leg will fire. Then for the generate post, so we have the generate LinkedIn post action, and we have the generate image action, which will then generate the bottom automation. And these automations are set up so that when one fires and one completes, the next one fires. So this is going to be, so this is triggered when we click generate information. This one just when we click the generate post topic button. Then this one is triggered when we click implement research. But this one then triggers automatically because this one is when the C2D, this call to discussion, is not empty. So basically when the research post topic automation completes inside an N8N, it will insert the data into the table LinkedIn post angles, and this will create a row inside this table where the call to discussion will be populated, which will then trigger the next automation, okay? And then we have the button in the generate post table to generate our image. So we have the generate image button there. Inside an N8N, okay, we have an AI agent. So basically you can just copy the N8N template into your N8N account, as I mentioned, but you will just need to provide your own API keys. So for example, here we have an AI agent. This AI agent, as I showed you guys, we're passing like the landing page URL from my website in this case, and their website URL too. So we're passing two website URLs and the LinkedIn URL. If we look at our AI agent prompt, system prompt, we're basically giving it these core directives, and we're basically telling it you must use the Tavily extract tool to extract the full content of all the provided URLs, okay? So it's basically going to scrape all those URLs, and we can do that using Tavily. If you've watched my other videos, you've seen that I'm a huge fan of Tavily. So go to Tavily, get an API key, and you just need to input the API key into the Tavily extract tool here. So the AI agent will use Tavily to extract all the data from the websites that we've provided, bring it back to the agent. The Google Gemini chat model will then synthesize all that data. Okay, and then we'll output, we have a structured parser here, so we'll output a founder's business narrative, founder-centric value proposition, and so on. So this is just a great way to come back here. If we go back into the system prompt, we're also saying that we wanted to provide a JSON object exactly like this, okay, which is just a really nice way to provide or to receive a very structured output. So we're basically receiving a content that looks like this. Look, in the edit fields, we can just drag and drop this content then in a really nice user-friendly way instead of receiving like one long report from the AI, okay? So that's why we have the structured parser there as well. And we just have one key and one body, okay? So you can just copy that. If you want to add more, you can just copy this and add another one at the end, and then add the name, okay? You need Relevance AI for this, guys. Relevance AI is an AI agent platform, basically. And we're using a tool from Relevance AI to scrape all of the LinkedIn posts that we're using to mimic the writing style of Alex Banks and Lara Acosta in this case. So go to Relevant AI. You just need to set up an account and get an API key and add some credits, okay? And you will be able to use the tool. You just input the API key. Everything else is set up for you. Then what else do you need? I think that could be it. Oh, you need to use Perplexity, guys. So we're using Perplexity to implement deep research for the master research and synthesis agent. Perplexity, I'm sure you all know, is a highly sophisticated large language model that is specialized for research and browsing the web and providing very insightful information about specific topics. And we're using that to do deep research on the topics for the LinkedIn post. So you basically just need to get an API key, set up your Perplexity tool and input the API key there, which is also very simple. And then finally, you need to basically do the same thing for OpenAI. So for using the image generation model, you need to go to the OpenAI playground, platform.openai.com, and just get an API key from here, guys, and do the same thing here. So you insert your API key here in the node. I'm not going to open it right now because you'll all see my API keys, and do the exact same thing for ImageKit. Get an API key and you should be able to just change out the API key. I'll just leave a placeholder inside there that says insert API key here. Okay, so that is it. So that's it for this video. It was a little bit longer than I anticipated. However, I really just wanted to make sure I was going into sufficient detail so that you were getting a good understanding of how everything was working together and also how you can get this system set up for yourself. So if you made it to this stage in the video, I really appreciate you sticking around. And if you got some value from the video, please give me a and subscribe, as this really helps out my channel. All right. And I'll be coming out with new content like this in the future as well. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next one, guys.